Feel free. You can adjust the seat as you wish. You have a pen and a notebook there, some water, just in case you may need to use any of those. My name is Nelson Makanda, and I am the chair of this selection panel. Allow me to thank you for showing interest in the advertised position and to congratulate you for being shortlisted for the same position that you applied for as a member of the Commission of IEBC. We will have a brief engagement just to get to know you better and to assess that which you have asked for, trying to understand who you are. Let me ask my colleagues here to introduce themselves. Then after that, we will come to you. Linda, please.
Good morning, Jen.
Morning.
My name is Linda 𝐀𝐩𝐚𝐧𝐞. I'm the vice chair of this panel. Karibu sana to this interview.
Madam Jen, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Naitwa Bwana Andrew Tanui,
Yes.
mwanachama wa chopo hili la uteuzi.
Asante.
Na karibu.
Good morning.
Morning, madam.
Caroline Kituko, a member of the panel. Karibu.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Thank you.
Sorry, I was off record, so let me repeat.
Okay.
My name is 𝐍𝐚𝐬𝐡𝐢𝐝, member of the selection panel.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Madam Jen.
Morning, sir.
My name is Nicodemus Bore. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Good morning.
Morning, madam.
My name is Fatuma Ali Saman, a member of the panel. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Nashida, and karibu sana. My name is 𝐀𝐩𝐚𝐿, and I'm a member of the panel.
Thank you, Dr.
Good morning, Jen.
Morning, sir.
My name is 𝐓𝐵𝐚𝐺𝐸𝐴𝐻𝐵𝐚. I'm a member of this selection panel. We welcome you.
Thank you.
Asante.
Now, Jen, we would like to ask you to briefly introduce yourself in 5 minutes or thereabout. In a brief summary, your profile, and why you think that you're suitable for this position, but also indicate if you have any honors bestowed to you, and if you're a member of any professional group.
Okay.
Welcome, Jane.
Thank you, Chairman, and the entire esteemed panelists for this chance to appear before this panel. First and foremost, allow me, Mr. Chairman, to appreciate this panel for giving me the chance to appear for this interview. I don't take it for granted, but I thank God and I thank this panel. Secondly, I would wish to state that it's one, I count it as an historical moment for me as a girl or a woman from Kapedo village in Suguta sub-county, Turkana County, to appear in this esteemed panel for this position of the Commissioner of IEBC. Being a pastoralist girl, having gone through all the challenges to attain education and to be able to find favor to appear before this esteemed panel, I am just happy and I want to appreciate for the position to be interviewed. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, I'm Jane Apetet from Kapedo village. I have a master's degree in public administration and management from Mount Kenya University. I also pursued a bachelor's degrees in development studies from Mount Kenya University. I happened also to have done a diploma in religious studies and philosophy from Moi University with a distinction. And among other professional courses that I also did to build up my knowledge, to ensure that I work for the betterment of this nation, I work to ensure that I work to bring about the desired interests of the development of this nation. Mr. Chairman, I went to Harvard University for a course, namely effective board members, because I was once a board member in some of the organizations that I will just present to this board. I did a senior management course with the 𝐀𝐩𝐚𝐴. I also did a professional course in strategic management from the London Institute of Management, London College. And I also did a strategic management course from the International Law Institute in Washington, D.C., and so many other courses, Mr. Chairman, that are proven in my credentials. And this morning, I want to present Jane Apetet, who was professional qualification suitable for this commission. One, because as a commission, the commission requires that according to the qualifications that were given in the Gazette notice, I saw the qualification needed was one must have a degree, administrative skills, managerial skills, and I present myself that I am that Kenyan that has the professionalism, the managerial skills needed, suitable to present a credible, transparent election that the Commission requires to be presented to Kenyans who are waiting to see results from the Commission. Mr. Chairman, I've also been awarded with an honoris causa for the service I've done to the community. I'm a champion of girl-child education, having come from a pastoralistic community whereby education is minimal, the illiteracy level is so high, the poverty level is so high. Having been a role model, I decided that I shall champion for the girl-child education and the education of that Turkana child. And I was able to be rewarded in the African Women's Summit to be the girl-child education champion. In 2023, the president of this nation, Dr. 𝐉𝐵 Samoei Ruto, also I was able to be awarded an honorary award of a national hero because of my contribution to peace. I'm also an author, I'm a singer. I contribute to peace through my diverse skills that I have. Mr. Chairman, I present myself as a person with reliable skills, professionalism, emotional stability, and a good manager, a good teamwork player, according to my previous engagements. I was able to work with the Constituency Development Fund in Turkana South, with also being a constituency office secretary in the Parliamentary Service Commission under the former MP of Turkana South. Having served for around 8 years, I was able to ensure that we do what we ensure the projects meant for the community are done. We also conducted community needs assessment to help us know which projects are fit for the community. Mr. Chairman, and this entire board, I was also able to work with the Kenya Power Board of Management as a board member. That is where I gained many experiences on matters board or being a board member. And the role that we had there was more of strategic plan preparation, policy making, and providing oversight to the best interest of the organization so that the shareholders and the company could run so well. I want to present, Mr. Chairman, that by the time I was in the Kenya Power Board, we found a board, a company that they used to do manual. Everything was manual, from HR to running these other things. But as a board, because it was a collective responsibility, we came with our diverse skills. And by the time I was exiting the board, the Kenya Power was now doing digital human resource activities. Procurement was done digitally. And the systems that are working now in Kenya Power as a board, I pride that I was part and parcel of the team that transformed Kenya Power from being a manual to a digital organization. The lifeline operations that you see now in the Kenya Power Board, in the Kenya Power Company, it was one of the works that we did as a board. Long time, if you remember, dear esteemed panelists, by the time we were there, it was in case Nairobi County experiences outages, they had to switch off the entire area so that the technical team could change. But now, through our efforts and the leadership within the board, we managed to ensure that the company transformed from manual operations to lifeline, where now we don't need to switch off the system. The technical guys could see where the problem is and switch that, not even switching. There are people who could go operate the lines live without switching off because of the technology that we employed. And this technology came about by us intermingling with technical organizations like IBM, SAP. We ensure that we got the best technology for the company. And now we don't need to switch off the lights. The engineers have to operate the system while
Can we go to something else that you have done, if it's possible, just a mention, please?
Okay, thank you, Chair. And another thing I pride in is when I joined the County Assembly Service Board as a board member.
Okay.
We entered the County Assembly Service Board. It was a political organization, but we served as a neutral board, serving all the interests of the organization, ensuring the welfare of staff, the policy level is brought to the standard. We found out that there was no HR policy, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, we have noted.
Okay.
I'd like to move on. Madam Linda, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Madam Jane, in your introduction remarks, you mentioned that you have some reliable skills.
Yes, Madam.
Could you elaborate to this panel which those reliable skills are that will benefit the Commission in the event that you're taking up as a member?
Thank you, Madam. Among the reliable skills, one thing I came to understand is that being a board member, you need to have information. Information is power. Knowledge is power. When you are informed, when you are knowledgeable as a board member or a commission, you will have informed decision. And therefore, by my experiences, my professional experiences therein are that by being, after going through professional skills, I'm able to be a good manager. I have good managerial skills. I'm a team player. I'm good at communication because communication is critical in an organization. I have resilience, having come from Capedo, the famous Capedo that you see. The challenges we went through, the things we saw in life has built my resilience and emotional stability. Therefore, I am that person that has the ability to be resilient, to be emotionally stable, having emotional intelligence, and administrative skills to make this commission go to the next level.
And what competencies do you think are essential for the commissioners to have in order for them to execute their mandate in the manner as prescribed by the Constitution?
Thank you, Madam. The competence required: 1, professionalism. 2, you need integrity. And you need to be accountable. You need to be a team player, a good communicator, because we need communication from the top to the bottom of the organization. And I've summarized the 3 competence in 3 C's. That is being competent, character, and communication. Yes.
And have you worked in a high-pressure, high-stakes environment before?
Yes, Madam.
If so, please elaborate to this panel.
Thank you, Madam. I've worked, just as I've said, I was a board member at the County Assembly Service of Turkana. And one of the most challenging situations is whereby the assembly had bloated staff. And a letter came that we need to resize the organization. And being the chairperson of the HR committee of the board, it was one of the toughest times in my life because resizing an organization means people will lose their jobs or you have to see how you can do. And as a board and as the chairperson of the human resource, what I did is that we started communication. We started consulting the Public Service Commission, the labor offices, the executive offices, the honorable members, because some of them were brought by the honorable members. We did a lot of consultation, and by the time we were finishing the resizing, there were no casualty because there was a lot of communication and engagement with stakeholders. By the end of the entire process, we had already resized the organization, rearranged the structure, and got the technical team. We exported them because we had good working relationship with the executive. Those who had certificates and were technical were taken to the executive, and the support staff who were too much, we had to outsource them to an organization to ensure that we met the required conditions for us to get the funding to run the organization. It was one of the toughest, but through resilience, emotional stability, and
Thank you very much, Caroline. Kituku, kindly please ask some questions.
Thank you, Chair. Jane.
Yes, Madam.
I've seen you have done some work on women program support, some women's rights issues. All right, let's talk about that for a minute. So you know Article 27 of the Constitution and Article 81 makes provision to the extent that not more than 2/3 of the members of the elective politics shall be from the same gender. In your view, should you become successful as a member of the IBC, how do you make sure that the 2/3 gender rule influences the way IEBC conducts itself and the elections in Kenya?
Thank you, Madam Caroline. One, as a commission, you have to abide by the law, and one of the requirements of being a commissioner or a board member is that you work for the best interest of the organization. Therefore, this 2/3 gender rule is within the Constitution. And as a commission, as a member, given a chance to be a member of this commission, what we'll do is that I'll ensure that we ensure as a board, because it's not one man decision, it's a collective decision. We'll champion for any other party, any other person, will champion for people to adhere to the rules of the 2/3 gender rule. Secondly, we need to engage other stakeholders, because Miles Monroe says purpose cannot be fulfilled in isolation. Therefore, even achieving the 2/3 gender rule, one organization cannot do. But as a commission, we shall engage other stakeholders, like FIDA. We have FIDA, and we have other led CSOs that champion for women engagement, women inclusion. Even Parliament, the KEWOPA, we'll get all the stakeholders on board. Then we become the champions to ensure that this 2/3 gender rule is achieved not only within the commission, but in any other government offices as it is required by law.
So what is the mandate of the IBC, particularly to ensure the realization of the 2/3 gender rule? What are those measures that IBC should put in place to ensure that this is observed in the elective politics?
Thank you, Madam. One of the mandates of the IBC is to ensure that the 2/3 gender rule is achieved. We have political parties, of which are stakeholders in election. The IBC has to ensure that the political parties adhere to this rule when presenting their list for nomination, to ensure that in case we have it is only men who are elected, then in the nomination list, we have the women to fill the gap. Secondly, there is this principle in political parties, whereby when they bring the nomination list, it starts with a man. So we can have stakeholders meeting with the political parties, and we tell them, you can even say a woman, then a man, depending on how the elections have been done. Like in Turkana County, out of 30 wards, only one woman was elected. So it's something that we can champion as a commission with other stakeholders and ensuring that every party adheres to the law of 2/3 gender role.
Okay, so a follow-up question.
Yes.
There is no law today as we're speaking that seeks to implement the 2/3 gender rule. However, over the years, since the Constitution was promulgated, 2010 to date, we have had subsequent, like thrice, we've had 3 elections in those 3 periods. My concern and what I want you to explain to us is, in the absence of clear put out legislative measures or, you know, criteria, what should IBC do in addition to the political parties' engagement? Because remember, this is, as you say, let's come back to Turkana.
Yes.
30 wards with 1 member of parliament, I mean, member of the county assembly who is a woman. Did IBC have any role to do with that? And what should have been done to ensure that in Turkana County Assembly, not more than the gender is represented?
Okay, thank you, Madam. And I want to say that the Commission works in hand with the Parliament, and the first thing is that we can, where there is a gap in the law, we need to have a stakeholders meeting so that we can push for regulations and laws that support such agenda. Secondly, there is need for voter education because the people are not informed that women can be elected as governors, as presidents, as senators, as in any other elective position or in any managerial skills. So we have to disseminate information from where we are to trickle down to the grassroots level to ensure the people who are the main actors, the voters, have information, are knowledgeable, are given the knowledge that women have a right to vote, they have a right to be elected, they have a right to be chosen like in any other position. Therefore, we need to champion with all the stakeholders, talk with the Parliament also, and any other organizations, and ensure education is given out to that innocent voter that does not know that women can be elected in any position they want, and it is their right. Yes.
Thank you so much, Jane. I wish you well. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. FCS Kokimuli, please.
Thank you, Chair. Madam Apatet Nashida.
Yes, Doctor.
I want to congratulate you for all the work and the achievements you have done from Kapedo village to Turkana.
Yes, sir.
This is really a great achievement. And also that you are a role model to not just people in Turkana, young girls, that you are championing their education, but also women and girls everywhere. So that's a great achievement. The second thing I wanted to ask you, it's relating to the work of the commission.
Okay.
From your own experience, and I think it's a wonderful thing that we have devolved government. Devolution has really transformed Kenya because all your experience that led to your shortlisting comes from the work you have done at the devolved government.
Sure.
So in Turkana, the participation of citizens in voting is very low, and therefore registration has not has not captured every eligible voter, especially women, especially youth, especially persons with disability. If you are lucky and become a member of the commission, how can you ensure that this category of people are registered, they are captured in the voters register? Thank you.
Thank you, Daktari. Through the chairman, if you can allow me to present that I once worked with under the 𝐀𝐩𝐚𝐽 Commission as an assistant registration officer for 2 years, 2004 and 2005. And I want to appreciate that this commission has come from far. Those days we used to go to register. We wait for the register from Nairobi to be brought to Lokori or Kapedo. But now there's a lot of transformation, like the digital way of doing things. And one of the functions of this commission is to ensure that there's voter education, registration of voters. Therefore, as a commission given a chance, what I'll inject in or champion is one, voter education to the grassroots level. You cannot compare this season with the other one we were when we were registration officers. There were no radios, but now we have radios, we have Twitter, we have Facebook. So dissemination of this voter education is so easy with technology than what it was. Secondly, we have constituency offices in every, we have offices in every constituency for the IBC. So it's easier to ensure that voter education reaches to the grassroots level through the offices, through training, through radios, so that that voter is told or is informed that he has a right to be registered as a voter, he has a right, and his details can be gotten through the office or even through digital way of registration. And thus we will be able to increase the number of registered people.
Thank you very much, Madam Nashida, and all the best. Chair, thank you.
Thank you. I want to ask FCPA Tanui to ask you some questions. FCPA, please.
Thank you, Chair. And Madam Jane, I also want to congratulate you for the achievements you've made, having come from 𝐶𝐸𝐵, because the information we know of 𝐶𝐸𝐵 is not good news.
Sure.
So we are happy to see you here. Tell me, while you are at KPLC, at the board,
yes,
which committees did you serve?
Okay. Thank you.
Just mention to me the committees that you serve.
The committee is one, the procurement committee, the audit committee, and the ICT committee.
So audit, procurement, and ICT.
Yes.
Those are three committees?
Yes.
Or they are one and having all those duties and
Yes.
responsibilities? Was it one committee or in
No,
three?
different.
They were all different?
Yes.
So let me pick on the two committees that you served on, audit and
Yes.
procurement. And as you must be aware that there is a lot of procurement also that takes place at IEBC.
Yes, sir.
So using your audit experience, audit committee experience at KPLC, and also the fact that you served in the procurement committee, what measures or steps will you take to ensure that there is transparency and fairness in the procurement processes at IEBC, appreciating your role as a commissioner? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. One, the procurement process is guided by the relevant laws, and one of them is the PFM Act. And the law requires that in Article 10 and 232 of the Constitution, it talks about the national values and principles of governance. And that means as a board member or a commission member, at the board level, we have to ensure that the principles of governance and the values of national values and governance are adhered at the technical level by adherence to the law. Everything is done within the law. I'm a champion of corporate governance, and it is required that whatever you do as an officer or as an office, you have to do the best interest of the organization. Without, you have to be accountable, transparent, unfair in your, you're not supposed to be unfair in whatever you're dealing with, but ensure that the processes of procurement are pursued to the latter. And as a board, we don't micromanage, but to ensure we provide oversight to ensure the entire process is done to the best interest of the commission or of the organization by adhering to the PFM Act and the articles of national values and principles of governance.
There is no other law other than the PFM Act that applies to That applies to procurement other than the PFM Act?
There is the Procurement and Disposal Act of 2015.
Okay.
The Constitution of Kenya is also the supreme law that overrides all the other regulations and laws.
Now, audit committees, the Mwongozo Code of Governance, and appreciating the fact that KPLC is a state corporation, so which is bound by the Mwongozo Code of Governance. Normally, they indicate that you cannot serve at the audit committee if you serve in other committees that are executive in nature or that involve processes, because you are providing oversight. And therefore, you shouldn't be serving in those other procedural committees or that are involved in the execution or day-to-day management. So clarify for us in terms of, you say you served in ICT, procurement, but also audit.
Thank you, sir. And if you can check the documents there, we've done a Mwongozo course by the 𝐶𝐞. Secondly, I also happened to have done corporate governance course with the Institute of Corporate Governance. Therefore, Chairman, I've just named the committees because within the span of 4 years, you don't serve in one committee throughout. After 1 year, they change, you are given another committee. So it was not for the entire 4 years, but those are the committees I served within my 4 years in the KPLC, because it has to adhere to the Mwongozo Code of Conduct.
So the term of a board member at KPLC is 4 years?
Okay, it's supposed to be 3 years, but I went for the second term and then it ended.
Yes. After serving for 1 year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But you are saying your service in these committees were on a yearly basis. You kept on being rotated.
They change. It's rotational.
Rotational,
it's not constant.
after every year.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Back to you, Chair.
Thank you. 𝐼𝐵C, please.
Thanks so much, Chair. Jane.
Yes, sir.
I also want to take you back to the issues of personnel in the Commission, that is the Secretariat and the Commissioners. Suppose there is a growing tension between the Commissioners and the Secretariat due to overlapping roles. How would you address the situation to ensure good governance and operational efficiency?
Thank you, sir. One, the IEBC Commission Act is very clear on the functions of the Commission and the functions of the Secretariat. And in a scenario where there's conflict, the Commission role is clear. The Secretariat, a technical team that does the mandate of the Commission. Therefore, in case of, because you cannot fail to have conflict in an organization, but as a commission or given a chance to be a member, I'll use my emotional stability, emotional intelligence to ascertain where there is a problem and then use the relevant pathways of conflict resolution to ensure that the Secretariat stick to their mandate and the mandate of the Commission remains to be their mandate. So there shall be no conflict of interest. What brings all this is conflict of interest. And best practice has it that as a commissioner or as a staff, you don't need to bring your personal interest within the Commission. Therefore, when we abide by the laws and the regulations that are given, I don't see where we can have such situations.
Please, from your understanding, what do you think is the major cause of conflict within the Commission?
Okay, not necessarily within the Commission, but within even any organization. When you bring your personal interest So when you bring your personal interest to the commission, that is when now the conflict arises. But when all of us, as the secretariat and the commission, work for the best interest of the organization, you'll enjoy the service because everyone will work within the mandate and will be able to provide a credible, transparent election to these citizens of our beloved nation.
In your career, have you had the support of a politician in getting you to where you have been?
Thank you, sir. That's a good one. The law, I was reading the IEBC Act.
I've asked,
Pardon?
in your career,
Yes.
have you seen the hand of a politician to get you to where you are in any of the circumstances?
Thank you, sir. In all my engagements or seeking for jobs, even this one, applying for the commission, I brought it myself. And I said, God of heaven, this is a Turkana girl presenting my document. And I'm just happy for this panel because of inclusion. There was nobody I knew, no politician, even it was a shock to everyone within my county and the entire nation. That how did you go? I said, I presented myself because I believed in my capability and ability to perform as a commissioner. And here I am today facing this esteemed panel. There was no politician. It is possible to go through these stages without the hand of a politician. Thank you, sir.
Thanks so much. Let me forget that. I didn't mean this particular one. I said in your career from the past.
Thank you, sir. In every career, there was no hand of being pushed. It's because, according to my professionalism, I just applied for positions. And for your information, sir, I even did the principal secretary's interview. I'm that person who is self-motivated and outgoing. I go for things, and I believe God and my ability.
Thanks so much. The last question.
Yes.
Please, can you say some ways in which the commissioner and the secretariat, they exercise joint responsibility of their roles?
Thank you, sir. One, the commission and the secretariat, they work interdependently. No group can serve without the other one. The secretariat are the implementers of the mandate and the plan of the organization as provided by the commission. Therefore, they work together, they co-work together to achieve the agenda, the mission of the commission.
How do they exercise that joint responsibility? How they do it?
Okay. One, like the secretariat prepares the strategic plan. The secretariat involved in the day-to-day running of the commission. And by so doing, all of us become co-workers to the best interest of the organization. They are the technical team, and the commission provides oversight and strategy.
Thanks so much, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Over to you, Chair.
Thank you. Ms. Fatuma Saman, please.
Thank you, Chair. Mashida.
Yes, madam.
I also join the others to congratulate you on the good work you've done.
Thank you, sir.
Bearing in mind that you're from Kapedo, and life there is not easy, but here you are with all these achievements. You are a good role model to the girls back home. So thank you very much. Now to come to the questions. Considering you, I remember you mentioned something about ICT and digitalizing the processes and the service of the KPLC.
Yes.
So considering the role of ICT in the electoral processes, how do you think IEBC can effectively engage technology stakeholders like the ICT companies, the cybersecurity experts, to ensure that the electoral process is secure, safe and efficient.
Okay. Thank you, Madam. And on that, there's need for stakeholder engagement. As a commission, we'll work together with the relevant bodies or organizations that provide technology to attain results. By employing technology, we'll be able to reach even a higher population than what we've already done. Therefore, the use of technology is critical in election management, and as a commission, given a chance, we'll ensure that the organizations that we work together, or we'll have a meeting of stakeholders to ensure that the technology we employ is not vulnerable, does not expose us as a commission, and we also need to get to the technology that we are able to trace even those people who are hate speech, who create hatred with using technology, because technology has been used to create a lot of inconveniences. And I was even looking at the meeting that we had, the security team had this week. They were talking of technology, use of technology to ensure to track those who cause hatred and hate speech. Therefore, as a commission, we'll work together with these companies. We'll meet together to talk on way forward. Then we use due process to ensure we get this technology to make the commission present a credible and a transparent election results.
You see, the board makes strategic decisions.
That is it.
So when it comes to ICT, it's technical. It's work that's technical.
Yes.
However, what would the board members need to be able to make decisions that are effective and helpful, and even to engage a technological company? You would expect. So I want to hear the practicality of doing that, because when you cannot engage a partner when you do not understand exactly what you need, and when you do not understand what is it that they can offer.
Okay.
So how do you engage effectively? I'm looking for tangible, real-time things that you will be able to do.
Thank you, Madam. One, the Commission uses IT like 𝐀𝐩𝐚𝐧𝐞 for registration of voters. Two, what we also need as a Commission is that we need technical team, and that's why I saw on the advert there's need for a technical guy who has IT knowledge, so that he brings his expertise and advice to the board, so that when we engage those companies that provide technology, we'll be able to have a technology that is compatible with what we run. Therefore, the Commission uses technology on matters communication like Twitter. I saw there's a Twitter handle for the Commission. Registration of voters, we use technology, and it's important that we need these experts and also the companies that provide. Then we are certain the surety of these companies to do that which the Commission wants.
How did you do it at KPLC? How did you influence the use of, or rather digital integration at KPLC?
Thank you, Madam. One, it was in the strategic plan. You see, for anything you have to plan. We planned that we need to migrate from manual to digital. And then a plan was drawn. Then we got the technical experts, because we were in a board whereby it was a company that does engineering. We had engineers and technical team for ICT, and then they draw a plan for what we need as a company on matters IT. And then we did also benchmarking to ensure that what we got is relevant to the company. After benchmarking, now we had even to ascertain the functionality of this technology. And the board approved. After approval, it was effective. And so you have to have a plan, and then as well a budget for the same, because you cannot procure without money. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you very much. That's much more clear and better. Thank you
Asante.
very much. Wish you well.
Thank you. I invite 𝐸𝐚𝐬𝐴𝐷𝐸𝐴, please.
Madam Apetet,
Yes, sir.
you served in you are serving the First Lady. Is it the First Lady of Kenya or the First Lady of Turkana?
First Lady of Kenya.
Okay, what role were you playing?
I was a Deputy Director programs.
Okay, so
Yes.
what programs were you running?
Okay, thank you. The office had the program of women economic empowerment, and the office also had the department of environmental activities, and any other assignment given by the office.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now, you also served at KPLC,
Yes, sir.
and our panelist Misati asked whether there was any political hand that helped you secure any job in your life. You've said no. How did you get the job of KPLC director?
Okay, thank you, sir. And there is a provision that because for any job given, there is that docket of minority, and that brings us to the point of inclusion. And I want to appreciate Kenya as a nation. We've gone far. We've really transformed from big people, big tribes only having positions. So my being in Kenya Power was as a result of a minority vote, and having come from Turkana County, where we have GDC as a project. Therefore, now that it was within the energy sector, that is how I got. And every time there is a position in any office, the question that comes, who is within this area that suits this, within the tables of employment or getting jobs? So that is how, being a minority from an area that has a company that provides, is in the energy sector, that is how I survived and became the director, because the previous one was also from Turkana. So they say, let's have another Turkana lady serving this nation, not to serve Turkana, but for the betterment of this nation. And I did my best. I presented myself well, and we are good to go.
Thank you. And how do directors get elected in Kenya Power?
Thank you, sir. Once your names are presented, the shareholders do a voting, and also government is part of the shareholder. So I represented the government side. The shareholders have to vote, and the government gives an okay that according to the requirements that you qualify, Chapter 6, you are good to go, then you get the job. So it is by voting during an AGM. There's no interview done for board members, but for staff, there's an interview. It's the board who does the hiring and firing.
So looking back at the picking of a minority in Turkana County, did you apply for it? Did they ask for application?
For the position?
Yes, because among the many high population of Turkana County, did they ask for anyone to apply, or just presented your name?
Thank you, sir. Just as I presented that in positions where they don't do an interview, they even call your chief, they even call your DCC to ensure, do you have somebody who has gone to school or who is learned in your area who can serve in this capacity? And that's how some of us, our names came, because for one, sir, I'm the first one to get a degree in my village, the first one to get, as a lady, the first one to get a master's degree. So in every table of decision making, when it comes to Kapedo, my name will have to appear. That's why it's good to be empowered, to be knowledgeable, and to be that strong woman from the minority, so that when names are mentioned, your name can be in the table.
Thank you very much. You are lucky to have your name on the table. Now, let's go to IEBC. What strategies will you put in place to ensure that the election results are accurate and verifiable? And also, trustworthy. Because as we speak, and as you've heard from many of the panelists and candidates who have come, that there's trust deficit among the IEBC as a commission. So what will you bring on board that will bring that trust out, that will make people now believe that whatever IEBC is doing is good for the country?
Thank you, sir. It's true that we need to present a credible and reliable election to Kenyans. There's a lot of mistrust, and some of the mistrust is propaganda in a way, others are true. And one, given a chance as a commission, you see, like, the population of Kenya is around 50, 55, 57, but the people who are registered are very few. So we need to start with voter education. We ensure we take education to the grassroots level. After voter education, we come to registration of voters. We tell them, let's come and register because it is your right. Without that vote, you cannot get what you want. You cannot get the credible and accurate information, election that you need. So by encouraging people, educating them on the need to have, to be registered as a voter, and the need to know their right as citizens, then we'll be able to advance to the next level, because it's about the lenses at which you see the situation. We'll also engage the stakeholders, the political parties, the parliament, all the stakeholders that are required, the security team, to ensure that we talk on a table. How shall we be able, as a commission, to present a credible election to Kenya? IEBC alone cannot do it. We need the entire stakeholder engagement, a vibrant one and a visible one. And using IT, I was looking at the Twitter account of IEBC Commission. It has 1 million following, but very few followers. That tells us something, that there's something that we need to do as a commission. Information has to go there. We need to be visible. Tell people about their right to vote, their right to register, and we'll have many following. And by them following us, they'll be able to know we are doing the right thing, we are doing the right process, and we'll start changing their mindset and attitude, because the Bible says, as a man thinketh, so he is. So when you think negative and you've not registered as a voter, you'll not be doing justice to the commission. So we'll do a lot of voter education, registration of voters, then we'll be on one table with everyone, and with the security team, everything will be guided, and we'll present a credible election.
Thank you, Chairman. All the best, Apatet.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor Adams-Oloo. Please.
Thank you, Chair. Apatet Nashida.
Yes, sir.
You've just told my colleague Bore that you are at the table when history is finally written, and it's being written right now.
Yes, sir.
That your name will be on the table. And let me join my colleagues that Apatet Nashida, who comes from the volatile
Kapedo
in the Suguta Valley,
yes, sir,
is today in the news, and it's not about cattle rustling, it's not about displaced families, it's not about GSU being taken there, and we all know that part of the challenge there is conflict over resource.
yes, sir.
You are applying to a position in which there is usually conflict between Kenyans over national resource, because politics is who gets what, when, and how. Using your experience and the milestones that you have passed and become who you are from that volatile conflict, what would Apatet Nashida do to manage a situation where different political parties and politicians demand special treatment or favor in the electioneering process?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the compliments. One, I'd wish to appreciate being a Carpathian and having gone through all the challenges that has given me the grace to have resilience. Secondly, emotional stability. And in a scenario whereby there's conflict between politicians for favor, one, I'll be guided as a commissioner because the act is so clear. You are not supposed to act in favor of a politician or having partisanship, being partisan. I'm supposed to act fairly, professionally, with integrity to the best interest of the Commission and Kenyans at large. So compromise is no excuse. You need to be a woman or a man of integrity as a commission because you have to be neutral and you don't take part in any side.
Thank you. My last question. Can you describe during your career a time when you had to be accountable for a tough decision that you made, and how did you handle public or stakeholder scrutiny?
Thank you, sir. And as previously said, there's one of the toughest that required a lot of stakeholder engagement, and it had a lot of conflict. One, because once you are told to resize an organization that has been there, being your first time in the board, and the condition is you have to resize. Therefore, what I did as a board member is we met as a committee. The board first approves that we need to pursue this because this is given. So we met as a committee of human resource. I was the chairperson. We engaged a lot of stakeholders, as I had said, sir. We ensured that we did consultation. We did a lot of consultation with the labor offices, with the Public Service Commission, with the executive, with the politicians within the assembly, to ensure that nobody will throw stones at us. Because once we fail to resize the organization, the funding from CRA will not come, and the MCAs will be on us. So we had to ensure that we do this. It is painful, it is tough, because sacking someone or removing someone from office is tough. They can come for you, being a political organization. But we were able to exercise a lot of emotional intelligence, and we had a lot of resilience because there were so many stones coming, but we remained professional in our dealings. We wrote letters. We had first meeting with the staff, second meeting with the staff, third meeting with the MCAs, and third meeting with the stakeholders, that is the Public Service Board. Us was legislative and the other one was public service. And we carried the process to the end. And in fact, Turkana County Assembly was one that when there's a forum for the legislative organizations, ours was given as a benchmarking because we were able to resize the organization to meet the requirements by CRA. And it was tough, but we went through it in a good way.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Prof. Do you have a final 2 questions?
Sure, Chair. When history is finally written, I'm sure the people of Turkana, the girl child in Turkana, and the public at large in Kenya will read about Jane Apatet Nashida.
Yes, sir.
That's the same way that when you go to the coastal area of Kenya and you go to the nationalist movement and you go to the freedom fighting, there's a woman whom we talk of today for fighting the colonialist.
Yes, sir.
Who is she?
She's Kitili.
Okay.
Yes.
My second question
Yes, sir.
is, which is the body, what's the name of the body that East African countries have integrated into as a bloc And how many members does it have?
Thank you, sir. It's East African community, but members, not sure.
Thank you, Chair.
You can count with your fingers.
Okay. There is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, South Sudan, Burundi, and the recent was Somalia.
Thank you.
Okay.
No leakage.
Rwanda, sure. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Madam Appetit Nashida sounds like a Japanese name.
Sure.
We have enjoyed the discussion with you.
Thank you, sir.
And presume that Kenyans have followed, and they are glad that you are included on the list. Do you have any question for us or any comment, kindly?
Thank you, Chairman. I don't have a question, but I would wish to appreciate this board for this time. And it's my prayer when the table is ready, I'll be among those in the role. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless Kenya.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Remember to pick your certificates at the door. And the notebook and the pen are yours.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And the water.
Asante.
Asante.